Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my fellow YouTubers, Facebookians. Welcome to another edition of Living Simply and Fun. I'm your host, Aries, aka Rita, and this is Aaron. Usually I say Joe Bob McGee or some redneck hilljack saying, but I am out of ideas.
Well, this time we have a very unique situation. We're coming to you with our second review of the Victor Sinclair Connecticut Yankee, and this time almost a year afterwards. And man, does that smell
Let
earthy.
me just tell you first of all.
It smells like earth. It's hardcore earth smell.
I put that. Anyways, you want to hear what's really interesting about it? Take it away about the pricing of the box.
$29.99. However, we ended up paying $39.99, and we were told that because of the error in the billing that we would end up getting a free box. That's if the price still remains the same, and the next time we place an order, as long as they still remember that they said that they would give us a free one.
I have the email.
You have the email,
yes.
so we should get another box of these, and it's a beautiful box. And man, do they smell good.
Just so you know, these are Victor Sinclair Gordos. You should remind them that.
Yes.
6 by
last time
60.
we actually had the Victor Sinclair Connecticut Yankee Presidente.
Which we wanted to share with you all. The Presidente series is no longer available on Cigar International.
Yes. I just said that this smells really earthy, but the first one of these I ended up having out of the box, I kind of thought that it had that faux wood smell, like an old school desk. Particularly that smell that, I don't know if you've ever passed out in class and woke up to a puddle of drool on your desk and it kind of has a stink to it. Well, that kind of reminded me, when I smelled this, of that. No, that didn't happen to me very frequently. I didn't usually sleep in school, but I did fall asleep a couple times. It also has a strong cedar smell. I did notice, well, I'll talk about that as we go along. Your initial thoughts of this?
My initial thoughts, when I took a smell of it, I smelled, as he said, earth notes. Cedar, hay, alfalfa. It was just a pleasant aroma. I mean, first thing I did, and I just want to say this to Aaron, as you all know, is it came in, and he didn't talk about this, a beautiful, beautiful box.
Yes. Now, another thing I like too is the Presidente we had did not have this blue ribbon on the bottom, which it's nothing really special, but it does make it look nicer, and for the aesthetic appeal, I do like that.
Of course. Of course.
For the first third of this, I thought it was pretty tame and mild. Flavors of oats and barley and some alfalfa, very earthy flavors. Again, whenever I think of earthy flavors in a cigar, I always think of the Gurkha Warlord, which is the most downright earthy cigar I have ever smoked. This doesn't even compare, but this one still is extremely earthy.
Exactly. And I just want to say, before I talk about my third, that this cigar would be a good after-dinner smoke.
Yes, it would be, because it is fairly mild. And I even try to think of what to pair it with. And usually I don't talk about pairings when it comes to cigars. With this one, though, I thought it would pair very well with an unsweetened tea or a chamomile tea of some sort. Something that kind of has that natural tea flavor to it. No sugars.
I believe when it came to this, I think it was this one that we actually did drink some teas at the park, remember? When we were in Moses Lake, we had some tea and it complemented the cigar.
With that, we had the virtual.
Oh, well, we'll be doing that video review next. So, anywho, my first third was barley, malty, oats, earth, and cedar. Very mild, I tell you. Very mild for the first third.
Okay. Anything further to add?
Yes. As I'm going to go and give you this lovely review for you people, I like the Connecticut Yankee, so I chose this because of the price.
Well, it also was our favorite before. What was it, like a 9.5?
9.7.
9.7.
So, anyways, I do want to say that as I was smoking this, the second thirds and the third thirds, it became a medium to full body, but we'll get to that in a bit.
So, moving on to this midway point, I started to notice a slight peppery flavor, and not too much though, and it wasn't enough to call it a pepper bomb. It just became slightly peppery.
Oh, by the way, there was one person on YouTube
who said that this was a pepper bomb, and no. I don't even know where you get that. He might
have like 5,000 videos on this, and in my opinion, it's not a pepper bomb. The guy just, the
guy who called this a pepper bomb obviously did not know what he was doing when he said this.
He also gave a good rating to the H. Upman Banker,
which I thought was so mild it was barely. Don't even bother right now.
The Banker.
Which is a very nice wrapper, and as I said, I think it serves its purpose as...
Oh, sorry.
I'm trying to protect the cigar. I know you're clumsy. So, anyways, when it comes to the Bankers, well, you'll have to watch the video on that. It's not that far back.
Nope, it was the last video we did, by the way.
Anyways, I was saying, though, that this was slightly peppery, not enough to even be called a pepper bomb. Not much else had changed, and there was some woody accents that came through near the end of the halfway point, just before the final third. And then it stayed pretty much the same throughout the end, so I'm just moving on to that. And without much change in it, it just had a very, very nice flavor. Your thought?
For the second, third?
Second, third, and final.
Okay. For the second, third, for me, as I said, it was hay, earthy, light pepper, not a pepper bomb of no choice. No, like I said, this guy does cigar reviews, and I think some of them he does royally sucks. But it changed strength from medium to full body, too, because it's in my opinion,
I thought it picked up more flavor. I wouldn't say it picked up more body, though.
Well, I picked it up, but, I was looking for it. Plus, it changed, completely. Now, for the third, it changed a lot. It did pepper, earthy, woodsy, cooked mint, toasted wheat. It's really good, and that's what And I just want to say that the ash was firm, and it was a really long smoke. And the other thing is, tastes a lot fancy over its price.
This is over a 2-hour smoke for us.
Yes.
And that's not bad given the size. The one thing I do want to add is we have had about 4 or 5 of these each from the box at this point. And I've noticed both in mine and in Rita's that these have a propensity to want to tunnel and then go out on you. And then you got to fix them by burning off like a whole inch. The other thing that these have a real good tendency to do is just, like yesterday, my entire wrapper just fell off. It just popped and
Oh, yeah, that was bad. But you know what?
It started from a little crack when I cut it. It was so dry at the bottom. And in the humidor's fine. Okay. The humidor's reading just right.
I wanted to say that for some of you out there, and, we try to review cigars that, we want to try, but also for you viewers. But I don't want you, and I'm going to say this from the bottom of my heart, I don't want you all to go and be turned off because Aaron gave the description of one cigar that just fell apart.
I think more than likely it's the construction of it because, well, it's been fairly consistent and our humidor is good, and other cigars in the humidor have had no problems. So, yeah, there are some complications with this cigar. But for the price, you can't beat it. The flavors are just awesome compared to other cigars that are $1 to $2 a stick. Even if I had to pay $2.60 a stick for this, or $3 a stick, this still would be better than so many others at the same price. This is one of those bargain smokes that, to me, is like well worth the money. Even if you do have 1 or 2 break, at $2 or $3, you have one that's upsetting to the point that it's like, that wasn't even worth smoking. But the flavors in this are amazing. So that's my thought on it. I'd given this, I guess, about a 9.5 to 9.7 back over a year ago. And I'm going to say the flavors are still in that ballpark. I'd still give it a 9.5 to 9.7, but this time instead of having just 2 that we got to try, we've had a box. So based on the construction, I'm going to drop it just a little bit to like a 9.2. But for the money and everything, this still is an awesome smoke. So I recommend it, especially if you're trying to save some money in your budget.
I'm going to give it a flat out right 9.5, and without the construction area, it would still, construction error, it would be a 9.7, just because it is a downright tasty cigar, and there's no faults with it. A year later, it still holds true to...
It made me want to go back and try that sampler again, which is gone.
Yes, I was looking for it the other day.
That's when we started getting back into cigars, so... Seeing that was like the beginning of our cigar smoking after a long hiatus of smoking cigars, and when I'd quit cigarettes, I figured maybe my taste buds have changed in all that time. Maybe things have changed and we won't like it as much. No, I still love it just as much as I loved it back then. This cigar is definitely well worth it.
Well, anyways, please add and subscribe if you like. Please post comments, leave feedback, and suggestions. Thank you, and may God bless the world.